Wanted to tell you about the Foreman 500 dual fuel. Dual fuel meaning that it can operate off of natural gas or propane. So if you're on a job site that's remote, you don't have access to natural gas, then you would just connect propane tanks. Typically recommend at least getting a 250-gallon tank for this machine. As you can see, there's a regulator system, a gas train, and then your burner. So your connection would go here on the front of the heater. So you can, you have to either get a propane regulator or a natural gas depending on what your supply is. We're able to provide you with either one depending on what your application is. We have regulators that you can use for both fuels as well. So you can just have one single regulator that we can supply you with. Also, it has a very beefy frame to it for stackability and also to be craned up if you need to crane it on top of a building or into a higher level. This frame is very stout and allows you to do so. All the Foreman heaters, including the Foreman 500 dual fuels and oils, can be recirculated, meaning that you can recapture the heat that is being discharged in the space and return to the back of the machine to gain some efficiency, increase your discharge temperature, and also for fuel savings as well. If you're taking heated air from inside the building that's, let's say, 70 degrees or 60 degrees, it's a lot easier to heat that air up, and it uses less fuel than heating, let's say, 0 degree temperatures or 10-degree temperature air going into the back of the machine. So recirculating can help you essentially save some fuel and gain some efficiency with the heater. One of the many features on this machine that I like is the built-in voltage display. So the voltage display tells you that you have proper power going to the machine. So if someone who's running the machine on site decides to run 200 feet of cord and it's really small gauge, chances are you may have too low a voltage to turn on this machine, and if using improper voltage, it can bog down the motor and cause issues with the machine. So as a built-in display to make sure that you have the proper power going to it. Additional features of the machine is you have an hour meter, and then you have your thermostat connection, so you can run this on a remote thermostat, and you can use an extension cord to go 75 to 100 feet into the space to manage the temperature inside the space. So once you hit, let's say, 60 degrees, it'll cycle the burner off and the machine off, and then once it drops a few degrees, then it'll cycle the machine on. Additionally, you have a ventilation only switch, and then you have a burner option. So if you just want to ventilate and blow air through the space or cool down the machine, you could flip it into ventilation mode. But primarily this is going to be used in heat mode. If you happen to have any issues with the machine, you will get a blink code display, and then you can tell whether you have a fuel issue, someone didn't turn on the gas, but you will have a blink code that tells you what's going on with the machine. We'll go ahead and turn on the blower on this machine. One of the many things I like about this is how quiet it is. So if you have it in areas that are more sensitive to sound, let's say if it's near a residential setting or if you're drying a building that's near residential, I'm standing right next to the machine and you can hear just fine. So it's a very, very quiet machine to use at any job site.